What are you laughing at?
Yeah.
You giggle? Oh yeah?
Should be.
Keep having a giggle, mate. Keep having a giggle, mate. See what happens, mate.
I did a bit of slapstick physical comedy, right?
Oh yeah?
You wouldn't get it.
I'm going to see that on tape later, mate.
Shut up.
He thinks he's immortal. I'm going to see it. I'm going to watch it on the YouTube, mate. Unreal. You're witnessing the end of the band, though.
Yeah. We broke
That's your little teaser at the start.
That's the end of the band.
You see you walking up.
So I'm Tim with Fent Rock Radio. I'm interviewing SOTV or SOTV here today. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Jesse. Hello, I'm Michael.
Hello, I'm Ben.
I'm Conor.
So what do you play? Like, what instruments do you play?
Sing and play guitar.
Guitar.
I play the bass guitar for the band. And I have the coolest instrument.
What was that?
I have the coolest instrument. The drums.
What genre do you guys play?
I think indie rock, is that what it is? I think it's indie rock.
Yeah, indie rock.
We're not very conscious of it, but I
A
think
little
it's
bit rocky, like
yeah.
a little heavy.
Cool music that we like to listen to.
There's probably a song going on.
Yeah.
I think it's indie rock.
So when do you get all together? Like, when do you start playing together?
We started playing together in 2016, I think. It was just Conor that wanted to have a jam with some new people, and funnily enough, Michael, our bass player, recommended me and Jesse to play guitar and drums with him, and just jammed around, played some covers, and then eventually he brought out some songs, and we played some originals, and then we did the old, like, the band, what are they called? The band competitions? Those Battle of the Bands? Yeah, and just had a lot of fun, so we just started booking gigs, and I think that was like 8 years ago, and now we're still doing it, so yeah.
Now we're old and withered.
Now we're old and experienced and wise.
Awesome. How do you come up with the name SOTV or SOTV?
It used to be called Social on the Veranda. That's what the name used to stand for. And then everybody used to just call it SOTV because it was too hard to say. So we changed it to that. That name came out randomly when we were writing songs, and I have this thing when I'm writing lyrics, I just say random stuff, and I don't quite have words yet, but that just came out of nowhere. It made no sense, but I likened it to just sitting on a veranda, having a party type thing. And then just became SOTV, and then we just stuck with that. So yeah, SOTV.
March, you guys released your first EP, Oblivion. How was the recording process for that?
The recording for that, I think first of all, Conor and I had a studio at the time, and we were recording a lot of different bands, but not really writing much. But one night we just suddenly decided to write. Like it wasn't really a great thing. We had some beers and started writing a song, and then Picture Frames just came out of that, and then it had been, I want to say, at least a year since we played a gig or like even hung out as a band or anything.
Maybe more. It was COVID had just finished.
Yeah,
and all
that's true. That's a good point. That COVID just happened. So we kind of, I don't know, we just didn't get to playing with live shows or even recording music. But that was the kindling to start recording music again. And then we said, okay, we'll bring Jesse back and we'll get this happening. And we laid down Picture Frames and Oblivion as the singles and didn't really have a plan. And then it kind of kicked in pretty quick into the process where we were like, we got to make this, and we got to bring it back because we felt really good about those songs at the time and still do. And I hate it now. And then we just kept rolling with it. We started playing shows again, and we felt really good. Like people came back to the project, which was really exciting, which reinforced the purpose of doing it again. And
The first gig back was here.
First gig back was here. Yeah. And but yeah, the recording process, it was at Hopper's Crossing in our studio for the first 2 singles, and then the other 3 songs were at the Avery, and yeah, it was over a certain amount of time, but yeah.
A friend of ours, Gianni, did the engineering for it. So he engineered it, and then so it was just it was really quick as well, because we were used to doing it bit by bit and doing it,
Whole long process of just recording and then mixing and mastering.
Yeah, not a lot ever came out, so it was okay, well, we just sort of sat down, set it all up as a band together live and recorded it like that. Did some overdubs, but it was very quick. We sort of just cut it really quickly in the moment. A lot of the songs were kind of written in the moment too, especially the other 3 on the EP. It was went into the studio without lyrics type dangerousness and then came up with it on the spot. So a lot of it was kind of like that and just following that feeling.
Which was really fun too. And we just did some new songs like the other week, and we kept that going where we didn't put much pressure on having the song written. We just came in with the idea, and then we let the pressure of that studio time put it together. And
You dictate the song.
yeah, I think it was the fact that we subconsciously knew we only had a couple of hours to make it happen, or else we wasted our money and time. That really kept it going, and we had a really good result, and we didn't really overthink it, which is really cool. So I think it's something that we can keep going.
Yeah, because you can dwell on songs too much. You can be writing stuff, and then you could be sitting on that song for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. We have a song that we've been playing since we started, never recorded or tried recording it so many different times, different people, changing it up, and it never just worked. So it was just this is the song, this is the thing, this is how we're going to do it. That's kind of so that's how that went.
I think the benefit, because we've all been playing together for so long. Like I've known Ben and Jesse since 2012 and Conor since 2014, and we've been playing that together either in this project or on others the whole time, where we can just kind of go in with nothing and we know for a fact something good is going to come out of it without fail every time.
We all have a lot of experience with each other.
Yeah. That's definitely the best thing to have as a band, just being really, really locked in together. And you can just bring out a song just on the spot, because you all know how an SOTV song needs to sound, and then just we have the backbone, so just adding the extra sparkles and stuff to the cake.
And we all know how each other play, that's the thing too. We've all learnt, we can just sort of look at one another and just start doing whatever. And even though we don't know what it's going to be, we just know that we can play through it and it's not going to be a mess, at least, It's even in rehearsals, we just have little jams that go absolutely nowhere half the time. But, we've got a cohesive thing that goes from start to finish, A to B. It's not just some mess that we sort of go, well, that was a disaster, That's how half the songs come about, to be honest. They start off as just this A to B, and then we're like, oh, that was really cool. And then we just kind of we'll figure it out later, but make a note of that,
Yeah, Slipaway was written, we had the lead guitar riff and one other idea, and then while we were waiting for Ben to get back off work, while we were recording Oblivion,
Conor, Jesse, and I just kind of sat down and we had time to kill, so we just kind of fucked around with it for a bit. Ben came in and like, we've got something crazy happening here, and we recorded that whole song in a couple of hours. Wrote and recorded the whole thing in a couple of hours, and then when we did lyrics a couple of weeks later, had nothing and made the whole thing up on the spot, and it's, I don't know, it's a good song, man. Like, especially like, yeah, it's cool. I love playing with the boys. I love writing with the boys. It's easy every time.
Do you find that your own like solo songwriting is different to like band songwriting, or?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Ben's a DJ. Conor does a lot of rock stuff primarily. Jesse comes from like punk background, and I'm in a metal background. Like
Damn.
And we've spoken many times about how I think that makes us stronger as a group. Is we can bring in different perspectives and go, no, we should make this heavier. We should make this lighter. We should make this. We should experiment here, because we all know those different fields and others as well, but we know, like, you know, what we each individually kind of expertise in, I guess, so fucking well that it's just easy to make new stuff. One of our songs we've got coming out is a far cry from, I think, any other song we've ever made, just because we thought it would be cool, and it lent on my personal like musical background a little more than I think the other songs have, and it's going to be weird when it comes out, but I hope people love it. Yeah.
Different can just, you know, blow up, you know, on TikTok or something, you know. So,
Here's hoping, man.
yeah.
Do we do TikToks?
man.
Occasionally. Yeah.
That's sort of leading on to my next question. Like, were you happy with like the reception? Like, how do you market yourselves? Like,
Well, I think the... Sorry, I don't know what's happening. I think the purpose of the EP was for something for people to fall back onto. We played a lot of great shows, like a lot of great opening slots, and a lot of people that at the time we didn't have something to for them to take home. Maybe just a single or two, but we didn't feel like that was enough. So with Oblivion, we weren't really concerned about that being a breakthrough or anything. It was more so an investment, so that when we play shows like this with Limo in the Sky, people can go home and have a full-length project, full length, to actually go home and listen to and really experience the band at home. And we also, songs like Enough is Enough and Strangers, we've had those songs for 5-6 years. So we needed to immortalize it.
really get it out there.
Finally get it out there so that, you know, people can actually enjoy that outside of the shows. And yeah, so in the future, we feel like we do want to push our sound, and especially with the songs that we've just recorded. But with Oblivion, it was very much so this is what we are so far. We just wanted to place the flag in that point in time and just say, this is where we are, and you've always got this to come back to.
What's your favourite songs from the EP?
Strangers.
Yeah.
I think it's still Picture Frames.
Yeah.
I think it's Picture Frames for me because that was the rekindling of the band. So there's that, but it's also a fucking slammer as well. So yeah.
I remember like the first time I saw you guys live and like you started playing that, I was like, fuck these guys.
Where was that?
That was when I took photos for you guys. Workers, right? Yeah, Workers.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, Workers is a good gig. Yeah, I think it's Picture Frames. Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I'm gonna like go down a totally different path. I'm gonna say Enough Is Enough. I've always wanted that song, like, as you said before, immortalized. And I feel like we attempted it years ago when we first wrote it, and I feel like we just didn't quite get it right, and it didn't quite hit the mark for me. So to come back and just do it the way we wanted to do it, and I think just that whole EP was just like a great example of like, we just took that and did what we wanted. We just didn't overthink it, you know. And I feel like Enough Is Enough was a really great reflection of it. It's always my favourite song to play live. Slip Away is always like a close second, because as soon as we brought that in, it came so naturally. So there's always something special about that, of how that just came to us and just fits in with everything else we do. But for me, Enough Is Enough, I think it's just had time to like simmer. So it's a bit more like sentimental, at least for me. Yeah.
Big
did I
Con.
say?
You said picture frames.
I wasn't
Would you
listening.
like to elaborate on that, Conor?
Yeah. It's a bit of fun, that song, isn't it? Like, it just starts, it just follows a cool thing. Like, it starts strong, you know, it opens up in the right places, and yeah, I like singing it. It's a bit of a vocal chore, 'cause it's really high, but it's probably my favourite.
Slip Away is good as well.
Yeah, I like Slip Away a lot because it's the first song I wrote with the band. Picture Frames and Oblivion, I wasn't a part of the band, but I'd been following the band very closely. I acted as their impromptu guitar technician for I went to nearly every single gig the band did, and I was the crew, I guess, for the entire time. And then when I finally joined the band and I helped record the EP, Enough Is Enough and Strangers I knew very, very well, Picture Frames and Oblivion I had to learn, and then Slip Away being the first one I got to write with them. That was pretty special. Yeah.
It was cool though, because you did take part in like Oblivion a little bit. I feel like you helped like really push us to do Oblivion. So I remember just sitting in the studio, and it was like what eventually became Oblivion and like one other song, and we were like sitting there going, which one do we do? And they were two very different songs. And ultimately you sat there and you were like, go with the one that's just a little bit different, like, because the one was very like, it was very comfortable, it was very like something we'd already done, and he was like, I reckon you guys should do something totally different, go a bit more left field, and just, you know, see what happens. And then we churned out Oblivion, and it was honestly like a good call to have, because the three of us were undecided. We had no clue. We were just like umming and ahhing back and forth for ages, and then you just came in and was like, right, I think you guys should do this, and we just like gave it a shot. We're like, you know what, cool, let's just see what happens. And then yeah, Oblivion happened, and like honestly, it was for the better.
Yeah, man, if you're gonna make art, make a balls to the fucking wall. See what happens.
I will say that's a really good part of having Michael in the band, is that he has that bird's eye view of the band where we'll not give a shit about what song we do next, but then Michael has that perspective to be like, well, he probably has the best understanding of the band out of all
You're the
of
only
us.
one that has seen us on stage and on stage, so it's like you've witnessed what it is. Because none of
Yeah.
us, the rest of us, have never obviously seen it from the other side. So it's like we don't quite know what it is. You know,
Yeah.
we try and play it the way we want to, but we don't know what it
You don't
is.
have that analysis.
Yeah. So we really kind of trust Michael to be like, is this kind of what it was live? And then yes, okay, when we're on the right track. So,
Basically, I'm like the leader of the band. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'm kind of like the main character. Like, without me, the band falls apart. It's crazy.
Cut it.
Yeah, not that.
this interview's over.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what? Forget
It's SOT now.
OTV.
OTV.
What bands do you like?
Oh man, like we were saying before, it's so there's so much variety.
Such
in
a
our music
broad
taste,
spectrum.
which is like a nice thing to have in our music, where we have a lot of colours stuff together. But go ahead and name your 3 favorite bands, man.
Yeah,
Roses. Yeah.
I like a lot of older music. Guns N' Roses, Oasis, that kind of stuff. But then some newer stuff like what are we talking about? Catfish and Botman, and then like stuff like that. But then also like Australian bands like Wester Barton from Adelaide, and then Press Club and Smith Street, you know, all these different bands that I sort of grew up listening to, and that kind of formed it in another way. And then some bands that don't play together anymore, like but that were just in the scene when we were growing up and started going to gigs together, you know, like Neighbourhood Youth, Pretty Littles, all these sort of bands. It was just kind of like, yeah. But then I listened to like all different stuff all the time. So new stuff all the time.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of electronic music and techno, which is a very strange flavour to have in the band. But yeah, I love stuff like Grimes, Kelly Lee Owens, and James Blake, the Skrillex, like real EDM stuff. But in terms of the band, like, I'm just attracted to good songwriting. So, like, I have a folk background as well. So there's a lot of different genres and styles of music that kind of come into it. But that kind of sums it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got the same answer as Ben. Like, not as electronic heavy as him, but it's pretty wide variety. I've been really digging Make Them Suffer, which is a Perth-based metalcore band for a long time.
And they were gracious enough to have us open for them in like a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
That was
true.
awesome.
Yeah, and they're super cool dudes. I've been getting into Kelly Lee Owens as Ben's suggestion. I don't even know what I've been fucking with. Violent Soho. I really love. Yeah, Violent Soho I really love. Oh Hiroshima, who's these boys. Got my favorite album of all time. Yeah, man. Fucking. If it's got a beat, I generally like it. It's pretty hard for me to dislike music.
Yeah, for me, I'm sort of like a weird mix of all, I guess, because I'm pretty open-minded, because I always like to try and like listen to all sorts of music to help improve just my own playing and just improve as a musician. But for me, like, Conor introduced me to Catfish and the Bottlemen, and their first album, The Balcony, is probably my favourite album of all time. But I grew up on like a punk background, as Michael was saying, so I listened to like a lot of like Blink-182 and Green Day and Sum 41 and like just anything you'd probably see at like Good Things Festival or like what's the one in America, like Warped Tour. Like I grew up on that, so it's very like hard and fast and that sort of thing. My dad was a drummer too, so he like listened to a lot of like Zeppelin and Van Halen and that, which sort of like got me into the like classic rock. Yeah, and it really did cement that whole drumming thing, because like all of those bands I sort of mentioned, like the big thing is like they all have really iconic drummers. And like I just wanted to like be like the drummer of all those bands, you know. So for me, I listened to a lot of that growing up, but I always keep like an open mind. So like, you know, Michael and Ben got me into a lot of metal that I listen to now. I wasn't thanking you, but okay. No. But yeah, like Slipknot and Trivium, like some of my favorite metal bands, and that just opened me up into like prog rock, and you know, a lot of those bands are introducing electronic elements, so it's like something I want to explore more as well, you know. So it's really just, for me, I'm just broadening my horizons, but it did start from that like sort of classic rock and like punk rock, garage rock kind of roots, you know. Yeah.
You reckon SOTV will ever do an electronic album?
That's actually funny that you asked. We're dropping it next week. It's called SOTV 2 Electronic.
I desperately want to include some sort of electronic element. Ben does our synths and our backing vocals and stuff for our songs, but my biggest thing is just joining the band, and I've told all the boys this the whole time, is I really want to push the band to experiment a shitload more and just try new things, because all the music the band has been making has always been good, but it's always been this like the same genre, and I want to push the boundaries a little bit and like just try some new stuff, which we have been doing since. And yeah, I want to explore that kind of avenue. I want to see what we can do. I want Ben to flex his muscles a little bit on the song more than he does, because he's an exceptional guitarist, and the stuff he plays, while awesome, it's too easy for him, and I want him to need to try on a song. You bastard.
Look, with electronic elements in our songs, we have definitely included them, especially in the picture frame session onwards. We really welcomed using synths. Like I got a Korg mini log, and that kind of like changed everything. just with like giving texture to the current sound. But in terms of like, I don't think we really sit down and go like, let's make an electronic banger, like, or anything like that. It's more like we'll have a song first, and then we'll really analyze what it needs. I don't necessarily want to make music for the sake of using tools. Like, that's like the only reason I have electronic music on the side is because I love that music, and I really want to make that kind of music. But with this band, whatever happens when us guys come together, that's what it is.
We never really question it, do we? I think the more we question anything, it just starts to fall apart. Not fall apart, but you know, like the more we question stuff, it starts to lose something. So we work very fast and just like don't really overanalyze, overthink too much. You know?
But at the same time, it's also really good to experiment, because that lets us know that we can use those tools, and then when the time comes, we can use it. For example, that synth was like, I'd had it for a year and I've been using it like every day, and then Picture Frames came around and I was like, I think you were like, see what you can do on the mini log, and then I went away for an hour and I'm like, I've got the hook. And so in like the breakdown, there's like a huge siren sound, and when that song came out, everyone was like, what fucking guitar pedal is that, bro? And I was like, not a fucking guitar pedal, bro, it's a fucking guitar pedal. And I think that was a small thing that excited a couple people, just because, probably 2 people. I'm one of them. Yeah, definitely. Like using more pads and samples and things like that was exciting to have, just to excite what's currently happening with the instruments that you see on stage.
Yeah, I think like what you said is, instead of making music as an excuse to use the tools, it's using the tools because the song needs it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even just because we want to.
Yeah,
for the song.
For sure.
Sometimes it's just fun.
Yeah, like another one for the nerds out there, I used the Juno 6 on Oblivion, and I used it just because I had one at the studio. But I think every synth player on that song has a Juno, and the lead melody in that is a Juno. And yeah, sometimes we just use stuff because we have them and they're cool. But yeah, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
Giggle? Oh yeah?
Metal Planet.
Keep having a giggle, mate. Keep having a giggle, mate. See what happens, mate.
I did a bit of slapstick physical comedy, mate.
Oh yeah?
Do it again.
I'm gonna see that on tape later, mate.
Shut that.
He thinks it's immortal. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna watch it on the YouTube, mate. Unreal. You're witnessing the end of the band, though.
We broke
That's your little teaser at the start. It's the end of the band. You see you walking up. Get some good stuff.
It's just been like sandpaper on sandpaper, just ready.
That's the band in a summary. Like that's
Yeah, like Ben and I specifically, like, it's all for act. I hate it. I got a tattoo of him just so I could like throw darts at it every day.
We've broken up more times than we've played gigs.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll probably
At
break up
least
twice after
9 times.
Yeah.
We almost just did.
Yeah.
Is there any like songs you want to speak like on the the deep meaning of like any of the songs? Like,
I could be wrong. I'll let the guys say it. I don't think there is to it. Like for me personally, especially with lyrics, because we write them so quick. The deeper meaning, if there is one, it comes later. It's not thought about in the moment. Now, somebody comes up with a great line, and because that's the other thing about the lyrics. It's not just one of us. We all sort of sit down and throw lines at each other till something sticks. But I don't think there's a huge deep meaning and over-analysing. That's just me, but I could be wrong. I could, Actually, Michael's about to tell you the whole.
No, but yeah, cool. Kill yourself. When we when we have written lyrics for Slip Away when we were recording Oblivion, and for these new songs we've done, you're done. It was a lot of like there is a theme or there is some sort of story here, even though we're not kind of fully, I suppose, clocked in as you would expect lyricists to be when they're writing the lyrics. But like with there, there was stuff we were writing where there was like that sounds cool, but it doesn't kind of fit the character of everything coming before it. So like there is a story, I guess, to each song. A couple of our songs do have specific meanings behind them, like Strangers. I know Ben wrote specifically about something, and some of the stuff like real early on. So was it both of you? Might be. Yeah, cool. I know Picture Frames is written about something specific, a couple of them, but like stuff like I could not tell you what Slip Away is about. Slipping away.
Most of the lyrics you probably come up with most.
Yeah, you tell us, man.
Banana peels. It's actually about Mario Kart.
we have a verse. It's about Mario Kart.
Yeah, baby.
Alright, my turn to speak. Yeah. So, I think there is a deeper meaning to these songs.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna just fucking disagree with you.
Yeah, sick.
But I think it goes person by person. Like, when I know the songs that we wrote together, I feel like because we've been playing and writing together for so long, we didn't even get to discuss what the songs were about. But I think we both had different things in mind. Two situations that might have been both explained in the one song. At least that's how I felt. And yeah, so I think that there is meaning in it, but it's different for each person. And it's nice to know that Michael has no meaning.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel anything when he plays the songs live. It makes me feel good. Why do we even have him in the band? That kind of thing.
Yeah. The lyrics that are a bit more aggressive and speaking about hating someone, but I kind of direct them at you generally.
Right. So I actually think it's Strangers. I think that's about you and me in about 5 minutes.
Is that the best we can come up with?
Actually, that was pretty good.
That was pretty
That was pretty good, yeah. You heard it here first.
Fuck up.
Here's your new teaser, him punching you.
Me flying.
I'm fucking scared.
Yeah, I think it's different from person to person. For me, yeah, I feel like I can attach something to it, but yeah.
When can we expect an album?
Tomorrow. 36 minutes from now.
We were actually talking about this the other day.
Yeah, we were. It's a tough one. It'd be awesome to do an album. I don't think we've earned it yet in one way. I think you kind of can't just, I don't know, especially with nowadays everybody releases stuff a certain way with songs at a time and stuff. So an album would be amazing, but I mean there's a lot of, it takes time to do this stuff and you have to think about it and all the things involved. So, but that being said, we do have new songs done and they are coming out, and you can have the exclusive. We're releasing a song on the 15th of November in, what's that, 2 weeks? Maybe, I don't know when it's going to come out, but it's called Vertigo, and we'll announce that very soon. That's my answer.
That's cool, we didn't discuss that. That's cool. Go announce it right now.
2 years after it comes out.
Yeah. What was the question?
Comes out.
What was the question?
When album?
Oh, album. Yeah, we were talking about the other day. Yeah, Connor's definitely right. We
Come out when it comes out.
yeah, we want to put out an album when we feel like people want an album, and like 40 minutes is a long time, and like nowadays with the saturation of new music, like 3 minutes is a pretty hard amount of time to ask from a person, even when it's free nowadays. So getting an album, I feel like we do have to earn it, and we do need the fans. That's you. Go to the description, hit Instagram/SOTV band, and hit a follow.
Can you please put the description like elsewhere, like up the top, so he just looks like.
Then go to www.facebook/benrohi.com. See what happens.
It's actually not a real URL.
It's not.
But let us know what is on there when you search it.
Yeah, there might be something on there.
There might be. It might be a picture of you in a mankini. It might not be.
Well, let's not discuss my private life.
Album would be great. We'd love to do it. One day. We will. One day.
Wrapping it up.
Yeah.
To answer your question, not yet, but maybe. We'll get to it.
We would love to, but yeah.
I had here what are you gonna promote, but
We just did.
Shuffle it around.
If you want to know what we're going to promote, just rewind the video about like 2 minutes.
Michael, what
Use
do we
the arrow.
promote?
We got Vertigo coming out November 15th. No one else knows about it as of right now, being November 2nd. Fucking crazy exclusive you guys are going to get.
In a couple of weeks.
We got a gig November 23rd at the Central Hotel in Beaconsfield. We are headlining with Sorsha and Caravan Club supporting us. Sorsha being Ben's wife, Caravan Club being a collection of absolute mad lads that we love to bits. It's going to be fucking ridiculous. A bunch of people packed in a tiny, sweaty room, as every gig ever should be. We've got a couple more songs coming out, hopefully, as soon as we can get them out here, and then we're back in the studio writing more songs, and that's going to be the rest of our lives until we fucking drop dead.
any final messages?
Go stream Hatiari.
Don't listen to SOTV.
Go listen to Oblivion. It's everywhere. And then catch us at our gig. That's it, mate.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, man.
Legendary.
When you fall, control, when you're